Hello everyone, Dom here. Today is Pride Month, and in the light of rampant queer-phobic violence and the large-scale censorship of LGBTQ media around the world, we, the rotating hosts of this podcast, would like to put out this message before the start. The host of this month's episode, Jay and Madzy, belong to the LGBTQ community, with Jay being bisexual and Madzy being transgender. Because of that, this episode will touch on subjects that are deeply personal for them. We have already discussed some sensitive topics in the past. But if you have problems with us for talking about issues that you don't understand or don't align with your belief, we would like to quote the late, great surrealist David Lynch himself, "Fix your heart or die." Please grow up and get the fuck over it. Don't like what we are going to talk about? Then you are not part of our listeners' base. Enjoy the show.
Hello everyone, this is Reanimate This podcast, where we take one live-action movie and trying to figure out how to turn it into animation. Well, in this case, it's two live-action movies, because we are all going to talk about Jane Schoenbrun. Why? Because it's Pride Month! Woo!
Yay!
Yes, happy Pride Month, everyone. I'm Jay, and I'm here with my co-host, Madzy, once again.
Hi. Happy Pride.
But first of all, before we go, let's just share, our, what we have been up to today. So, Madzy, would you like to, share yours first?
Well, my job is keeping me pretty, slammed most of the time. But I've been mainly sort of writing little skits. I'm trying to get like a kind of sketch show off the ground with my friend, but it's been slow going because working with people 3,000 miles away is a little difficult.
Yeah. So you're doing a remote job?
Well, it's not a job. It's just, my actual work is, I take care of people with schizophrenia.
Okay.
So I'm surrounded by madness most of my day.
Yeah, I'm trying to get a job, but, at the internet, much like your workplace, is just such a wild place, a mad place.
Yeah. Let's see. I've been playing video games like Waxheads was one I played, where you run an independent record shop, sort of. It's just a way to pass time in between giving out pills and stuff like that. Yeah, but pretty boring life right now.
Thing can be said about mine. For me, I play Hades just to pass some time. The first fun. Hades game. And I gotta be honest, the playing this game actually made me validate my own sexual orientation. And so this segues into talking about this one movie that Jane Schoenbrun has made. Their first feature film, We Are All Going to World's Fair, which is about people, young and old, participating in this internet challenge, and then weird things start to happen.
This is for serious players only. I hope that you're ready to get scared together.
It was like watching myself on a TV all the way across the room.
They're getting closer
I think I'm turning into something terrible.
I'm going inside the video, through the computer.
It's gotten worse.
Someday soon, I am just gonna disappear.
What is We're All Going to the World's Fair about? The movie begins with the webcam footage of teenager Casey, played by Anna Cobb, who is participating in the viral internet alternate reality game called World's Fair Challenge.
Hey guys, Casey here. Today I'm going to be taking the World's Fair Challenge.
Like many other challengers online, she will post updates if she starts to notice any changes and posts the video publicly. Late one night, she sneaks into her shed, sets up a projector to watch an ASMR video before another video made for her with the message, "You are in trouble," and "I need to talk to you." This video's creator calls himself JLB, played by Michael J. Rogers, who is a lonely middle-aged man who spent his time watching other people's World's Fair videos.
Hello?
Hi. Thank you for talking with me. I'm sorry, my video scared you. I didn't know how else to get your attention.
It's okay. But it's really freaky.
Thanks. I've seen your videos. I've been trying to get in touch with you.
You said you think I'm in trouble?
How much have you read about the World's Fair?
Just a little bit. I mean, I mostly just watch the videos online.
Through the Skype conversation between Casey and JLB, he encouraged Casey to post more updated videos of her bodily and psychological changes, which do indeed happen to her gradually.
So, Madzy, have you seen this movie or?
Yeah, I watched it last night. I enjoyed it. And it was the second film I've seen by this director now. And it's given me a sort of an idea about the general like themes and kind of driving force behind most the films I've seen. And for me, it seems like I mean, it's a great film. It's entertaining. It's essentially a found footage film, but at the core of it is the protagonist doesn't really have agency, and this is the same in I Saw the TV Glow. The protagonist is being controlled by something else, and in many ways, this is a willing participation. And I think what this film is trying to say is it's about how we cede our identities to the expectations that we have when we sort of self-identify, and we sort of get trapped in other people's expectations of what we are, as opposed to who we truly are inside. I don't know. That's what I got from it.
Yeah. What I find this interesting, what I find this movie very interesting is that it managed to capture the feeling, all without referencing a very well-known, like, internet culture, like, very specific kind of internet culture, but it really captured that why people wants to be part of the certain internet subculture.
How so?
it's like why people really wants to join the like say furry fandom on the internet. I mean, sure, that maybe the go-to answer would be well because they like media with anthropomorphic animal, that they grew up watching back when they were a kid, but also that there's part of them, made them realize their core identity,
Ah,
and also being part of this subgroup, as how should I put it, like as strange and quirky they are, you find some interesting community there. I mean, 2010s, the internet subculture 2010 is such an interesting time period. Like you got like all. I mean, I believe this was a decade that is also a height of the creepypasta, stories.
oh yeah, yeah.
And we're all going to World Fair is very much the creepypasta without mentioning too much about creepypasta. I feel like there's like one reference to creepypasta. There's this guy, hold on, this JLB. That's the Michael J. Rogers character.
Mm-hmm.
And he has a Skype profile that looks like drawings out of one of those like a creepypasta stories. I don't know. It looks like a Jeff the Killer. I can't remember, but it looks rather familiar.
Yeah, it's also got a bit of that kind of LoJack kind of meme kind of thing going on there.
And I know that this was made around the time of COVID pandemic or sort of set around sometime in the late 2010s, but it's weird to see someone still using Skype when we all move on to Zoom.
Oh, you haven't been to many corporate gigs then, have you? They're
I mean,
still using it in some places, let me tell you.
oh wow. I mean, I used to use Skype a lot just to talk with friends that I made on the internet.
Yeah. I've always used it just for work. Gotta be honest. But yeah, I see that. And I was also I when you were talking about the internet culture of the time and like the references.
So yeah, I like how this movie is about the creepypasta or internet urban legend without directly about creepypasta or directly about urban legend. If you know what I mean.
Oh yeah.
I mean, like, have you seen the recent Backrooms movie?
No, I haven't seen that yet.
Yeah, which I did. Even with the positive buzz, I was sort of skeptical because I was worried that it could end up becoming like a Slender Man movie. Remember that movie?
No, I did not watch it.
Yeah. But yeah, I remember that movie coming out and people didn't like it, and people in the Slender Man mythos community didn't like it, and it didn't help the fact that I think like a few years before the movie came out, there was a Slender Man stabbing happened in I think like in Michigan or Wisconsin.
Yeah, those three kids, the two of them killed the other one because of they're taking Slender Man too seriously.
It is Wisconsin, and let's see, okay, one injured. They didn't kill this
Oh, they
kid.
didn't kill her. Okay. Anyway, that is another thing this film is about, right? Is how they give away the game. It's all fake, but some people take it too seriously.
Right.
And that's the danger of satire: is are you going to get your point across, or are you just going to give support for the side you're trying to criticize? And you know, that's the whole thing about the internet too. It's hard to tell what's true and false, and there's a blending of realities, and you're almost left on your own, especially if you're continually online. Ironically, because you're surrounded by people telling you this and that.
Yeah, terminally online has become a phrase. Like, I believe, like early 2020s. God, I'm actually old enough to remember the whole QAnon bullshit that started like in the late 2010s.
About Pizzagate and all that stuff.
Yeah, and 2020 was like the apex of that whole conspiracy theory. You could argue that it's all because of we stuck inside during the pandemic.
There was a lot of that. A lot of people that would have spent their time doing, like, watching sports or whatever. or engaging in, like, physical activities outside that aren't used to using their brain, all of a sudden had to use the brain all the time and didn't know how to sift the bullshit.
So yes, it's a very, I mean, for a movie about the internet, it not only is it accurately captured that feeling of wanting to be part of the internet subculture, but also I also noticed that this feels like a bridge between the 2010s filmmaking, or at least the filmmaking approach that was common during the 2010s, and the 2020s like filmmaking, where internet is now like one part of the, like, a storytelling. Like it's very inseparable, if you know what I mean. Like, I mean, why would I mean, not only that, I kind of noticed there's like this movie almost like a bridge between the 2010s mumblecore and the 2020s analogcore subculture.
I mean, it seems pure analog horror to me. What was the other thing? The found footage or what?
Yeah, the found footage. Yeah, I mean, yeah, the found footage is one thing, but what I mean by mumblecore is like, it's like people or actors just pulling out their camcorder and recording themselves, recording other people, having conversation.
Okay. Yeah,
talking each other through webcam.
I wasn't privy to mumblecore as a thing. This is new to me. I'm not terminally online enough. Ugh, kill me, internet. Okay.
So this is, I mean, I'm not like huge into like analog horror. I mean, even though it tends to be fascinates me, but I noticed that there are a lot of I've seen a lot of like people, like LGBTQ people, non-binary people, are very much attached to analog horror. Well, what do you think is that?
I wouldn't say it's necessarily just analog horror. It's horror in general.
Okay.
And the reason for that is because at some point in your life, if you're queer in some fashion and you don't have like the most supportive parents in the world, you're going to have this period of time where you have a compartmentalization of this part of you, where you think it's monstrous and evil and bad and it needs to be hidden away, and how can this be part of me? And it's body horror, it's secrets, it's like the same thing a serial killer must go through when they go about their daily lives after killing people. You can't talk about this with anyone, and you know you're a monster, even though in, like, our case, we're not monsters. But we convinced ourselves we are because the world convinces us we are. And that is a horrifying state to be in. And because that's basically our childhoods, if not even longer, there's some kind of comfort, nostalgia to that too as well. I mean, that's just my theory. I can't speak for everyone.
Yeah, I could see where you're coming from. And the strange thing is that horror genre was the one thing that I sort of stayed away from as a kid. I don't know, maybe I was very, very sensitive and horror doesn't resonate with me. But however, as like during my teen years, I began to take horror genre very seriously, like how, let's say, literature, like critic or literary academic takes books very seriously.
Yeah.
Like,
so
because it's such a full of metaphors. Metaphor for anything, like, anxiety or
true.
the feeling. And it can be very poetic and it can be very blunt to the face.
And it's the way our culture sort of processes trauma is through our horror and science fiction films. You know, the 50s, the kaiju films is all about nuclear war and the fears of that.
Mm-hmm.
The 70s, where the government projects are turning people into something else, you know, the whole Cold War scare is in there. And you know, I'm trying to figure out what today's fear is, but it's kind of hard to see in the moment.
I don't know. It's like I don't know. Maybe after the whole Me Too thing, it's more like human relationship, like fractured human relationship.
Oh yeah, that's
or you know, unequal gender relation.
There's a lot of that going on. True. Yeah. I mean, because we've entered that realization, we've got more black directors making excellent horror, dealing with, you know, the past, the whole like psychic baggage that slavery has inflicted on a whole category of people.
Mm-hmm.
It's how you achieve catharsis.
And people have told me that whenever there's a Republican president or conservative president in power, zombie genre tends to be a huge thing. You know, during there was the boom during the Bush era, beginning with the 28 Days Later, and the first Trump year, Walking Dead was very popular. And I'm pretty sure we might gonna see a new wave of, you know, zombie wave again, but who knows?
You know, you can't go
people
wrong
are
with zombies. That's people you love turning into things you don't recognize, and that you don't want to kill, but you have to for your own safety.
Yeah. God, no, that's another thing. But also, I also heard from other people that the reason why zombie genre became very popular because there are no institution, like the idea of institutions are now gone and people have to fend for themselves.
Yeah, post-apocalyptic.
Is it also rooted in this sort of the very uniquely American rugged individualism?
Yeah, because there is a fear of being consumed by the collective, and there's also the cannibalism aspect, which can go in the consumerism direction or in the way that society is forcing us to eat ourselves to survive.
Yeah, I also noticed how some people said that, okay, cannibalism is now the new wave.
Oh yeah. Well, that's because of our corporate nightmare we're living in right now, for sure.
I think I believe Julia Ducournau's Raw and Luca Guadagnino's Bones and all. And there's actually more than that. I think there's this movie called Fresh, but I haven't seen
Fresh
that
Meat?
one. But
Fresh meat?
I don't know. I think
it
that's
British?
that.
Or is okay, never mind.
I don't know. But I haven't seen Bones and All either. But I did watch Raw. I remember hyping over this because of all the news about people fainting during the screening, and I was like, oh, just how fucked up it is. It made me curious to go and watch it, and you were like, it was all right.
What was it called?
But
What is it about?
Raw, RAW. That's the English title. It's a French movie.
All I'm getting is wrestling.
Or Graph. Yeah,
I'll check that one out.
Graph. Yeah,
Grave?
then that's the French title. GRAVE.
Well, French know a thing about cannibalism or two. You ever see Delicatessen?
Yeah, I need to see that one. That's the Jean-Pierre Jeunet and Marco Carlo movie. Yeah.
Yeah, it's wonderful.
Yeah, I believe it was on Tubi for a while, but then I never get to complete watching it. I don't know.
Okay, so I think we've strayed a little bit.
So yeah, so we talked enough about how certain horror represent this or represent that. So we talked about how horror and from gay, lesbian, bisexual, transgender, non-binary people such as ourselves have used horror as a metaphor for our own anxiety and how society sees us. So we could segue into talking about I Saw the TV Glow.
I know this might sound crazy. I don't want to alarm you. Do you remember a TV show we used to watch together? It was called
The Pink Opaque?
What if I really was someone else? Very far away on the other side of a television screen.
What is I Saw the TV Glow about? The movie is set in the year 1996. The young 7th grader Owen, played by Ian Foreman, sees an older girl named Maddy, played by Jack Haven. Maddy introduces Owen to a young, adult-oriented urban fantasy TV show, The Pink Opaque.
What grade are you in?
9th. What about you?
7th.
God, you're a baby. Election night is cool, right? It's like Colonial Day. Or when they bring the inflatable planetarium into the gymnasium. It's like the school gets transformed into something else, you know? It's special.
It's a kid show, right? The Pink Opaque.
No. No way. Who told you that? I mean, yeah, technically it's on the Young Adult Network. But it's way too scary and the mythology is way too complicated for most kids.
I see commercials for it all the time. It looks amazing.
This show follows teenagers Isabel, played by Helena Howard, and Tara, played by Lindsey Jordan, as they use their psychic connection to fight lunar supervillain Mr. Melancholy, who could warp time and reality.
Close by, Marco and Paulo. Nasty little demons. And he's Mr. Melancholy. That's right. What's happening to me? How do I know these things. Am I going crazy?
No. Never let anyone convince you of that. You're like me. You're special. We are the pink Opaque. It's our destiny. I knew it from the moment I saw your tattoo in the dining hall. Heck, I knew it before I even met you. Can you feel it?
I don't even have my learner's permit yet.
Owen and Maddy share their bond together through this TV series, as they developed a strong feeling towards it. 2 years later, Owen, now played by Justice Smith, still hangs out with Maddy, who regularly gives him recorded VHS tapes of the Pink Opaque episodes that he has missed. However, during their secret sleepover, Maddy tells him that she is thinking about running away from her home.
I'm getting out of this town. Did you know that? Soon. I'll die if I stay here. I don't know how exactly, but I know it's true.
If you leave, I won't have anyone to watch the Pink Opaque with. My mom passed away that next July. And a few weeks later, Maddy disappeared without a trace. All they found was her TV set, burning in the backyard.
When Maddy disappears, the Pink Opaque gets cancelled after 5 seasons. Owen then slowly notices the fractured nature of his world as he works in dead-end jobs, deals with the death of his mother, and lives with an abusive widower father played by Fred Durst.
Very much a horror drama about that alienation and along with about the force that we can't fight against, like the exterior force that we cannot fight against, along with media, attaching to the childhood media that validate our alienating feeling.
It's a beautiful film.
I know. Recently, watching it again, I sort of understand this movie more. So, Madzy, would you like to share your thoughts? I mean, before I get to share mine.
Oh, sure. As I said, it's gorgeous. The color, it's like a Dario Argento film with cunty colors. I love the surrealism of it. I really wanted to smack the protagonist.
God.
They're so annoying to me. I would not have any patience for this person in real life. They have absolutely no agency in their life. I mean, that's the point, right? But, like, they're making the wrong decision always. Self-sabotaging at every moment. Can't get a word out to save their life, and just ceding to authority at every juncture they can, like going out of their way to cede to authority. It's sad that's sort of what you're forced into as a transgender person. but I mean, a lot of queer people and trans people that I know were not these docile, kind of let anything go. I mean, yeah, I had low self-worth, for sure. But I was like, okay, you're wrong about this about me, so I have to question everything about what I see in this whole world. And, you know, as long as it's in a parameter that won't get me kicked out of my house or like completely destroy everything I've ever loved or owned, I'm going to go and fight the power on this, because at least that's an area I can go to. And so I couldn't relate to that main character, but I did relate to Tara a little bit. But I loved it. I loved the kind of Buffy the Vampire Slayer story, the pink opaque that it is, and then going back to it, and it's just so ridiculous that you can't even understand why that would have such an importance in your life.
Hey, Bozo! Estee Lauder called. They got a few suggestions about this whole look you're going for.
But I will tell you this. I forever will have, let's have a soup party in my vocabulary now, because that was ridiculously awesome.
I know. In the wintertime, instead of selling ice cream, you can sell soup instead.
Why didn't I think of that?
Let's all have a soup party. Yay, soup party!
Yeah, I mean, those are my thoughts. I really enjoyed it. It's gorgeous. It's more of a surrealistic examination of existentialism than a horror movie to me, though.
So, yeah, I agree with you that the main character, Owen, who is played by Justice Smith, he's very much he's his worst enemy. That's what I could describe. Much like all the classic Greek tragedy, characters. Like, in the end, they become their worst enemy.
Yeah.
And that's when I watched it the first time, that's what I said to myself, like, this is a very uniquely, how should I put it, transgender or non-binary, take on the classic Greek tragedy. And it's also, like, unique about their own experience. And I actually shared that thought to my, transgender and non-binary colleagues, and most of them seem to agree with it. But I also remember that one of them said, like, well, they said something like, well, for a tragedy, it feels rather weirdly optimistic, because at least the movie itself gave Owen like a second chance, like another chance to, get out like his situation. There's this very famous shot, like I think it was like called that shot of the writing on the road. It's not too late or something. There's still some time.
Yeah, and the thing that bugs me is that they saw things with their own eyes, and still couldn't believe it, right? So, like at the very end, where he's like, "I'm dying," and then everybody just stops.
Mm-hmm.
At that point, they have to know, right?
Mm-hmm.
Well, why do they go back and just go, I'm sorry. Like, I used to apologize all the time, too, for nothing, because I felt guilty for who I was. And I understood that. I related to that part really a lot.
Mm-hmm.
Sorry about that before. Sorry about before. Just a new meditation. I'm sorry. I'm sorry about before. Sorry about that before. Sorry.
I guess that's the real horror, is that you have so many opportunities and you don't take a single one.
I also said the first time I watched it, was like I sort of draw a connection with the Wachowski, the Matrix, and Jane Schoenbrun kind of sort of admits it. And Jane Schoenbrun, they once talked about they would like to direct like a Matrix spin-off, but from the Agent Smith point of view. Like this is yeah, I saw the TV goal is basically what if Neo didn't take the red pill. Well, not in like a toxic way, but more like he didn't take the red pill to learn the larger truth. He just took the blue pill instead.
Right, because he loved his family, which was the TV. They never showed his family once.
Yeah. Or he just liked his corporate job.
Yeah, oh, what a wonderful job.
Yeah.
Some people just love feeling familiarity, I guess.
Alright.
It breeds contempt, though.
So, the second time I watched it, I finally get the whole thing, and I'm less and less, how should I put it, my attachment to my own interpretation that, oh, this is like Greek tragedy, but no, this is a lot more personal than I thought.
Yeah.
Because I tried to remember what was like one piece of media from my own childhood that realized my own identity or my own, sexuality. I tried to think deep about that. I must say, Madzy, what was like, there was a slang amongst the transgender community that, oh, this media broke my egg, or, breaking the egg. Like, I think that means like, oh, that's the moment that you realize you're transgender or non-binary, or you're not exactly like in like the assigned gender or something. Am I getting this right? So, Madzy, what was your breaking the egg moment?
Well, there was this cartoon I used to be called, that was on when I was a kid, called Speed Buggy.
Mm-hmm.
It was kind of like Scooby-Doo, but with a speed buggy instead of a dog. Well, wait, I think it may even have had a dog. Anyway, it had these two women and these three guys, and they had to infiltrate this Athenian island where there's only women. So they had to go through this beauty machine to transform so that they could infiltrate and save their friends. Anyway, I went and I wanted to play act that and reenact it, and I was like, this is how I should be. So that was the media for me. I got in trouble for the play acting, though. Got punished for it. I was about 4.
Oh, so yeah, I'm actually looking at the cover right now. It's a Hanna-Barbera cartoon, and I'm saying right now is, okay, there is not Shaggy and not Daphne, and I don't know who that guy with black hair. I don't know. Should I call him like Black Hair Fred?
Yeah, go ahead.
Yeah, anyway, so
I don't remember his name.
Yeah, so not Shaggy, not Daphne, not Fred, and this talking car. I don't know, talking cart.
It was one of my favorite shows when I was a kid. But then I had only seen a couple of things.
So it ran for like a 1 season.
Yeah, and they had reruns, so, Hanna-Barbera would throw their stuff onto everything.
Okay. That's a very rather niche reference right there. But I didn't know that show existed. It is a Hanna-Barbera thing where they reuse like a character design.
And the whole like trope thing too, like Rickety Rocket, Jabberjaws. It's almost always the same show. Anyway, I'm sorry. Go ahead.
So yeah. So I think there are a lot of media that from my childhood that kind of realized my own bisexuality. I think one thing I remember that I grew up reading like graphic novel series about Greek mythology, and one thing is that how they draw the Greek mythology heroes. They all draw like an incredibly muscular way, and then also a lot of they draw like, and also they draw their like female love interest very hot, and that also extends to the Olympian gods and goddesses. They draw them very attractive way. I mean, not surprising. I mean, Hades. That's part of the reason why Hades, both Hades 1 and 2 were very popular right now. Everyone is very hot, and that also made people to realize their bisexuality.
I had no idea.
I mean, it wasn't exactly like openly. It wasn't exactly openly. How should I put it? Queer, but what I admire about that graphic novel series is very pushed a lot of envelope, like when it comes to nudity, violence.
Okay.
And there's a lot of sexual implications and implication of like sexual assault. I mean, it's made for kids, and yet and the more I think about it, I kind of respect how further they could how further they could go with it. And I feel like I remember as a kid I sort of fantasized about wanting to have a male companion, like even platonic one. And I also grew up as I was the only like fifth boy in my own family. And there was a part of me like I wish I wasn't a boy, but not in like okay, I'm not part of the assigned gender, but more like I wish I could express like say feeling that are very feminine without getting shamed or looking weird.
Okay.
But also, I also had this feeling that, oh wow, I wish I could have a hot girlfriend. So yeah,
you got options.
Well, I mean that's within bisexual people such as myself, we've kind of joked about the bicycle, because if you're when you're bi, you have a feeling for men and feeling for women, or feeling for like all kinds of gender at random.
So it's at random?
It
kind of switches on and off. Like you see a hot guy and you see another hot guy, and it's like no, yes, but hot girl, not.
Yeah, that's exactly.
Wow. That's new information and interesting. I mean, for me, like, sexual attraction doesn't really play into anything.
And I don't know. I also remember, attaching the photo of Jesse McCarthy in my like a school journal, which is a strange thing to do if you're a boy, like an elementary school boy. Do you know who Jesse McCartney is?
Who?
Like a singer, actor, Jesse McCartney. He's also the voice of Roxas from Kingdom Hearts.
No, sorry, I do not have this information.
Yeah, I mean, if you grew up watching Disney Channel, may familiar who he is. And I'm guessing that you didn't, but okay, I guess
No,
for
we
the
were
general.
watching like Sam and Cat and Drake and
Oh,
Josh. You know, I guess Nickelodeon was what my daughter was watching.
okay, so you're a Nickelodeon person, and I was more like a Disney Channel person. I only watched Nickelodeon for SpongeBob and Fairy Odd Parents.
Yeah, well, I mean, my daughter liked Sam and Cat. I was a little old for all that, really.
Oh,
Except for
okay, that makes
SpongeBob.
sense. That makes sense. That makes sense.
Hey everyone, Dom here. Here are monthly ads and news items. If you want to listen to this episode without the ad breaks, please support us on Patreon. It's also where you can get early access, bonus episodes, bloopers, and research notes. You get to have your name in the credits and come hang out with us. We host monthly group screenings where we watch some movies and shorts. With your help, we could bring in big-name experts and industry professionals. The Patreon page link is in the description.
So back to I Saw the TV Glow. I'm not sure how familiar are you with the new queer cinema, like especially like the one made during the 1990s. You know,
During the 90s, there's a couple of queer movies I remember resonating with me. And I remember there were a lot of other like movies out at the time, like Boys Don't Cry and Brokeback Mountain, that kind of stuff, that I had no interest in because it was mainly just drama. But Velvet Goldmine?
Yes, Todd Haynes, not David Bowie biopic.
Yeah. That was.
By the way, I heard some sort of someone yelling in the background. It must.
Oh, that's one of the residents here. Don't worry about it.
Okay. Yeah, but I get. Yeah, but I keep thinking about those movies while watching I Saw the TV Glow. Even the visual style made me remind me of that, especially the Greg Araki movies like Doom Generations and like his teen apocalypse movies. I thought the TV Glow is more like an expansion of expanding the theme, like expanding the queer identity theme, but more exploring the identity, what is like being a transgender or non-binary person in the world.
Yes, it's one of the more watchable movies about that kind of thing for me.
Yes,
for sure. It's really hard to find representation when you identify yourself as an individual.
Yeah, and also I could see why the decade of 1990s is an era where queer filmmakers, starting to raise their voice and be a lot more confrontational because of the AIDS crisis during the 80s and a lot of moral majority with Ronald Reagan. And not only that, in UK they got Margaret Thatcher not caring about AIDS patients and not liking gay people.
Yeah, that was openly okay in the 80s and to some extent in the 90s. But we did have an opening up. It was a younger generation that had more experience to media than our parents did, and more experience to people, and so we were open because we had been taught you shouldn't discriminate. The 70s is right after civil rights, right when they were. So all Gen X was, all we heard was you need to be accepting and tolerant and all this, and they were still throwing gay people and trans people under the bus. The 90s came. Ellen had that coming out episode.
This is so hard, but I think I've realized that I can't even say the word. Why can't I say the word? I mean, why can't I just say... I mean, what is wrong? Why do I have to be so ashamed? I mean, why can't I just say the truth. I mean, be who I am. I'm 35 years old. I'm so afraid to tell people. I mean, Susan, I'm gay.
And then it's like it exploded. You know,
Yeah.
it was like, this is acceptable now. People will actually watch this. People will actually pay some money for this. So they were starting to get funded. It was great for that. I mean, like Kevin Smith had maybe a bit controversial gay representation.
Oh yeah, Chasing Amy.
Yeah, but I love that movie.
Yeah, it's I don't know. Maybe it's looking back, it's a bit of a complicated movie, but I know, I think I'm familiar. Like there's some, I like it. There's some very dated aspect, but also I know like bisexual people sort of resonate with it, but sort of like if you're like a lesbian person, but then you have like an attraction toward guy, it's a kind of weird conflicting feeling. Like it's like being in a in a space that bisexual erasure is sort of common.
Yeah.
And I do have that anxiety as well. It's like so what if I ended up living with a woman for the entire life, but then what if I admit that I'm bi, and then people are like, what, like, how can you call yourself queer and live with a woman?
I mean, that's just. I mean, for me, I'm like, this is my business. Fuck
Yeah,
off.
yeah, exactly. Fuck off. Like,
I mean, I do, but I don't. You know.
Like, I don't care who you're dating with. I mean, nobody should judge anyone based on their, who they date with, unless that person is very, let's say, problematic person.
Yeah. But it's no accounting for love. I also want to mention, like, I like to Hedwig and the Anger Inch. It's about everyone's fear is that you'll make this transition and it'll be just worse than before, which is the experience for some of us. I can say yes to that. But yeah, 90s were more open for that. They were more open for a lot of things. There was more sexual stuff in movies. There was a lot more criticism of corporations and stuff in a more kind of biting, direct way than maybe the 70s did. All that greed from the 80s with the Reaganomics and everything was. I mean, I guess ultimately it wasn't summarily rejected by the youth, but at that time it was. Selling out was still a thing.
Yeah, and then the hippies suddenly become like a stock trader.
Yeah.
No, like stockbrokers.
Yeah, you see your parents being these hypocrites, and you're like, fuck this whole system you built. I don't know what happened to my generation, though. They're all fucking crazy people.
So this has sort of segued into like the animation connection with Jane Schoenbrun movies.
Who is Jane Schoenbrun? Jane Flannery Schoenbrun was born to Jewish parents in Queens, New York in 1987. They were raised in Ardsley, New York. Schoenbrun grew up watching horror media like the Nightmare on Elm Street series, frequented online forums dedicated to their favorite TV shows such as The X-Files, wrote fan fictions, worked at a local movie theater, attended basement punk shows, and made amateur horror films with friends. Schoenbrun has attributed this experience as informing the themes and content of their filmmaking. While attending Boston University in 2009 with a bachelor's degree in film, they worked as a production assistant on Josh and Benny Safdie's short film. After graduating, they moved back to New York, where they got active in the indie filmmaking scene and contributed to the program at Spectacle Theater in Brooklyn. In 2018, Schoenbrun made their directorial debut with the documentary A Self-Induced Hallucination, a Slenderman mythos movie made of YouTube videos. After that, Schoenbrun made We're All Going to the World's Fair, with a small budget of $15,000 and premiered at the 2021 Sundance Film Festival. The movie inspired from their experience making A Self-Induced Hallucination and researching creepypasta stories on the internet. It received critical acclaim, which propelled them to make their surrealist sophomore feature, I Saw the TV Glow. Schoenbrun began writing the script for this film during their hormone replacement therapy. They incorporated elements from their recurring childhood dream involving the field behind the field, near their high school that served as a visual and thematic influence on the film's atmosphere and tone. After the midnight premiere at Sundance, I Saw the TV Glow received praise for authentically capturing gender dysphoria. Jane Schoenbrun's latest movie, Teenage Sex and the Death at Camp Masima, was premiered at the 2026 Cannes Film Festival, opening the Uncertain Regard section, which curates under-the-radar unconventional films. The movie is about a queer director who, while shooting a new installment of a popular horror franchise, becomes obsessed with casting the actress who played the final girl character in the original movie. The movie received the Queer Palm Award, the best LGBTQ-themed movie at Cannes. It will receive a theatrical release in the United States by Mubi on August 7th. Jane Schoenbrun is also working on a trilogy of novels based on their television series pitch called Public Access Afterworld, which will conclude their thematic trilogy that includes We're All Going to the World's Fair and I Saw the TV Glow. They are also working on the streaming series adaptation of Charles Burns' graphic novel Black Hole.
So, and I saw the TV Glow. There's like one scene where there's a TV playing like an animated show featuring these characters, Tux and Fanny. So, not sure if you've seen the Tux and Fanny. It's free on YouTube. So here's how I describe it. It's a what I could describe it as a whimsical, surrealist, Russian language buddy comedy animated movie about a guy and his female roommate being friends, like a platonic friend, and they go on an adventure, or at least during the second half.
Yes, it was charming.
Yeah,
it's done in computer graphic style from like early 80s, I would say, or maybe Windows Paint, MS Paint,
Amiga computer.
Yeah, that kind of stuff. It was great.
And then it becomes a lot more mixed media.
Yeah,
as it goes on.
And I can see why they added that in the film. There's a point where the character loses their skin, and the other character knits them a new skin, and everyone's bodies do seem to change. And while it's presented in skit form, little tiny, like maybe 30-second skits throughout the entire film, the continuity of the bodies as it goes along through the film continues, which I thought was pretty neat.
Yeah, and while it's still a mystery to me why they done it in a Russian language, but if I ever get to meet its creator Albert Burney in person, I could probably ask him that. So far, based on my research, I haven't figured it out. But however, I could see there's a parallel between Tux and Fanny and the relation between Owen and Maddy, and I Saw the TV Glow. But however, one gets very drifted apart, but another, Tux and Fanny still remain loyal to each other.
Yeah.
And also ties it up with the whole theme of the multiple universe and multiple realities. It's almost like an animated form of Everything Everywhere All at Once, especially during the second half of the last act of Tux Infinity. They look into I think they're at a river shore or beach shore where they kind of discuss oh, look at the sand, for every single one of the sand, how many universe there is, and then we see this montage of them in a very different form other than a pixel art. And that was kind of amazing.
Oh no, I love that part. Yeah. Yeah, it's charming. I don't have much more to say about it though. So Albert Finney is not Russian, is what you're telling me?
I don't know. Maybe he's a Russian descent. I still don't know, but maybe I could ask him in person. But it's still a mystery to me. But I don't know. Watching this, and I also thought about what would the transgender and non-binary kid of today, what would be their egg-breaking moments? I've seen people having a attachment towards animated shows in recent years that are very explicitly queer, like Steven Universe and the Owl House. And they said that was the moment they realized, oh, I might be gay or transgender or non-binary or gender non-conforming, broadly speaking.
There's a lot more exposure that people have, and a bit kind of, I don't know, it's a pendulum swinging back and forth of tolerance here. But there is more than when I was a kid, and I imagine that the effects of the blowback from a coming out experience when you're older hopefully can be eliminated in the future by the more acceptance, because I didn't just affect my life when I came out. I destroyed a 23-year marriage, a 20-year career, a high performance job, everything I had accumulated over 46 years. A relationship with my family, which was the most important thing in my entire life. It's my hope that you guys just break that egg now.
Yep. That's what Owen should have done. Just break the egg now.
Yep.
And so yes, I sort of noticed, maybe it's just a regular people thing, but I sort of noticed how there are, how should I put it? The appeal of animation and amongst transgender community, to the point that animators such as yourself, how should I put it? Make a very offbeat, surreal, and very absurdist animated media. And if I have to make a very I have to make some shout outs to transgender animators, Carissa, Maeve, Ainet, they did some animated PSA specific for Nighthawks and Alamo. They did a stop motion animation PSA for Nighthawk Cinemas, which is where I live very close by, and with Godzilla and a lot of action figures. And it's really cool.
It's fun. I loved it. It was great.
Yeah, and also Tucker Woolley, all the way from Los Angeles, and I believe we have seen some of her short, her segments in television.
Yeah, yeah. The art style is really charming, very distinctive. there's very queer. I mean, so much. I barely do anything related to my identity and my work, but Tucker's not afraid to go there. So.
Yeah. So that's pretty much our shout out to these wonderful people at this moment. So go.
Probably can I shout out Angela Fellows, who does puppetry?
Okay. Yep.
They did a show called The Anarchy Funhouse that Tucker has also contributed to, as well as me.
I think I heard about Anarchy, Funhouse. I think it's from Kyle Colgren's Browse Held High. I think either he mentioned it in one of his video or his YouTube channel post.
Yeah, there's not much. It's not being actively worked on anymore right now. But
hold on, there's a puppeteer that I know, and they happen to be one of my colleagues back in one of my colleagues from Prospect High Art Club, and they're also puppeteers as well. Hold on, I'm gonna put their Instagram page. Okay, Muna Mushin. Okay, she goes by she her. Or, it doesn't matter, but she makes the.
Tell them that.
I don't know. When it comes to pronouns, I get sort of a bit anxious. I was like, I forgot what pronouns they go by. Okay, I'll just go they them just to avoid any
Yeah, that's my
misgendering.
That's my go-to.
Yeah, same here. I did that same thing with the cisgender people as well. I don't they don't. That's why even as a cis person, you got to put out the pronouns just to avoid any misunderstanding. So yeah, that's her puppet right there, Miss Ethel.
Oh, okay.
It's a warm puppet. Yep.
We Wiggle Dolls. Cool.
Yep, and here's her Instagram page as well.
Oh, I like that. Ooh, these are some impressive.
Yep.
Dang, yeah, look at that.
But yeah,
I want to move to New York. Oh well.
So yeah, let's cross our finger for Mayor Zoran Mamdani to lower the rent fee. We talked about a lot of movies that involve surrealism. It's just something I realized, how we really, really like surrealist art and surrealist movies. I think one of perhaps my catalyst for liking surrealism and surrealist, art is probably. I mean, sure. I read a lot of books about surrealist art or a modern art involving surrealism because my older sibling wanted to become a painter, and we ended up having a lot of picture books and some books about surrealist painters and their works, and Magritte, Dali. Well, Picasso is not exactly part of the surrealist movement, but Pablo Picasso has done a lot of offbeat cubist art. It seems but however, perhaps my biggest catalyst was reading folk tales, fairy tales, and Greek mythology that involved metamorphosis and human beings suddenly become an animal because they got a curse or because of charm, and that. I think that sort of started my weird obsession with images of person becoming an animal. There's a transformation thing.
Like Animorphs?
Yeah. Well, yeah, okay, Animorphs. I didn't grow up, reading Animorphs, just to be clear, but...
You've seen the picture, though.
Yes. So... As an Asian person, I didn't really get this whole criticism of person of color becoming an animal in animated movies. I mean, sure, I get that they wanted to see like person of color character, yeah, as a full human being rather than like being dehumanized. But I wasn't exactly offended by it because I was so used to seeing like white characters becoming an animal in stories.
Yeah, I mean, this is just the Odyssey, right? With the
Yeah,
island?
there's Odyssey, but there's also stories like I think there's mythology character named Io who, because she is in relationship with Zeus, and Zeus doesn't want to get find out because of his wife Hera. So he turned Io into like a cow, and then there's all things like that, and then Io runs away, swimming all the way to Egypt, and then that's where she turned back into a human. It's a
Yeah, shapeshifting.
That's one of the story, and then you also have this story about one guy turning into deer because he saw Artemis bathing with her nymphs.
And in Crabopolis, the mother turns everyone into some kind of animal most of the time.
Yeah, it is a very surreal story, and then whole surreal logic that is so rooted in like mythology, and so is my own so is like my own like Korean culture. Like we have a couple of like folk stories about people turning into an animal. I mean, I think this has mostly to do with the whole Buddhist notion. Like if you live well, if you have enough good karma, then you will be reincarnated into a human. But if you have bad karma, you'll be turned into an animal. And there's like a folk stories about the guy unable to go to like a celestial kingdom because he made a mistake, and then he's crying so hard that he turns into a rooster, and that's why rooster keeps doing the go like every morning. And that's the Korean culture's explanation for that. And then there's like one guy who's like he does a lot of bad things. So when it comes to like choosing like for like a reincarnation, nobody wants him as their him as a baby, so he reincarnated as a pig. Will always eat anything.
Oh my goodness.
So yeah, I guess
that's like Spirited Away.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, speaking of which, I maybe that's also my weird attachment to like transformation story, because I grew up watching Hayao Miyazaki, Studio Ghibli animated movies.
Yes,
his
especially
I don't know, his recent movie, The Boy and the Heron, is basically what if he decided to be full on David Lynch. This is perhaps his most Lynchian movie, sort of. Like there are a lot of reference to like surrealist painting in that movie.
Oh, sweet.
Mm-hmm. And nobody really like talk about that from that perspective. Like, how does like surrealism and its philosophy connect with his like very loose adaptation of how do you live? So yeah, what I'm trying to say is that like we have such a weird fascination with surrealism, not just because of our cultural upbringing, but also not being a normal person or not normal by the societal standard might have made us feel attached to surrealism, don't you think?
I'll endorse that idea.
And that's why I think that's why David Lynch, the late David Lynch, had such a like queer following.
I wasn't aware of that. Again, I'm a lone wolf. I just spend time with myself.
Yeah, and Jane Schoenbrun is. It's not surprising that Jane Schoenbrun made a lot of like David Lynch reference in their work. And actually, Mulholland Drive is also like one of the movies that made me realize I'm bi.
Really?
And not only that, it gave me like idea of like how to make a great movie. Is that one, have the most unconventional narrative structure, and two, make your main character queer, like broadly queer, and the final sort of like a third season, the return season of Twin Peaks. Even there's like a one, Gordon Cole, the David Lynch character, says that line. He's talking up. There's that scene. He was talking about Denise, David Duchovny's transgender character. He's talking about he's talking about Denise's past, and he said something like, "Look, I have a lot of dirt on you that could fill out the Grand Canyon. However, you being transgender is not one of them. And if there's someone who complain about your transitioning, I would usually call them, say that to them, fix your hearts or die." And
before you were Denise, when you were Dennis, and I was your boss, when I had you working undercover at the DEA, you were a confused and wild thing sometimes. I had enough dirt on you to fill the Grand Canyon, and I never used a spoonful because you were and are a great agent. And when you became Denise, I told all your colleagues, those clown comics, to fix their hearts or die.
And that quote, "Fix your heart or die," that has become a rallying cry. That do you notice that how
do I notice how did you get cut off or?
No. What I'm trying to ask you that like, I noticed how a lot of like transgender people on the internet using that as a rallying cry. Fix your heart or die.
It's a little violent. I do like how that was the Cuntavision 2 tagline.
Yes.
Good job on that, by the way, Jay. I loved it.
Yes. That's my parodying Disney direct-to-video sequel, which is strange because I have an idea for making a very I think okay. What I'm trying to say is that I have an idea for making an animated movie in the style of Disney direct-to-video sequel. Even the thematic, it has the same thematic idea as well. And there's like one character that is sort of a metaphor for like a trans metaphor.
Okay.
However, and because the main character is a cisgender person and who is also bisexual, and then his love interest is someone who is assigned female at birth, and he wants to help him to accept his how should I put it, help him to come out as transgender, and then trying to make an arrangement to the fairy godmother, like, oh, could you make him a man? And that's how they get the happy ending, and they live happily ever after. And then I realized, like, considering the discourse surrounding this movie, Emilia Perez, I was like, I think I should put that in the back burner because it's just one of those movies that it's a transgender story told from the perspective of this person. I don't think that's what the world really needs right now. And that's what I like about I Thought That TV Glowed more, because it's told from the perspective of someone like non-binary person or transgender person still in the closet and struggling to come out. There's something unique how should I put it? Something personal about that.
It's
and kind of relatable flaws.
Yeah, I mean this. I used to, when I would go on stage, I say this song is about being in the closet. That's why there's no words, because it's an isolated experience, self-enforced isolation, of course.
Mm-hmm.
But like going back to like, you don't think a cis person could have empathy and put themselves into another person's shoes, and right? I mean, they have to for different characters.
Yes, yes. Mm-hmm.
I don't see why, if the story is good, it matters where the source is from.
Mm-hmm. I mean, look, I do believe that this film director can tell a story about a transgender person, but I want to see more, transgender film directors and non-binary film directors tell their story. We need to.
No, I'm all for that for sure.
I just don't want to cut
anything off just because it's made by a cis person. I'm sorry. Go ahead.
Maybe one day I will revive this project back. Maybe I will just pull it out from the back burner. But I realized, watching I Saw the TV Go, I was like, I want to see more from transgender film directors instead of me telling a transgender story, because there's some parts of it that I don't understand as a cisgender person, and I mean part of the experience that I don't understand.
I imagine you and the majority of people. Some things about it I don't understand myself sometimes. But
okay, fair.
There's a lot of assumptions that people make about you.
Mm-hmm.
Like they automatically assume I did this to have sex with men or something. That nothing could be further from the truth. But yeah, I as someone who's an aspiring creative, I do want to get my story out there in my own way.
Mm-hmm.
But what I really want is just people to enjoy what I make. And I don't want to have to be focused on my transgenderness in order to tell a story. I don't want... That should be the last thing you think about when you think about me, because I'm an individual. I'm a person, just like everyone else.
Yeah, that's fair.
And I want to see more trans directors not making trans films. I want to see more trans directors like the Wachowskis.
Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm. I want to see the creativity at play for everybody. Yes, we need stories. We need models, but everyone's story, as you said, is so individual and different. I've never met another trans person like me. I've tried to go to meetings and meet with other trans people, but having one thing about you is not enough to build a relationship on.
Fair. I mean, I feel like that's my. Okay, never mind. I was almost bringing up something personal, but I was like,
I mean, you.
So yeah,
I don't get offended by anything really. So
it's almost like how some people expect from film directors of colors, they all sort of assume that they're only going to make about main characters as also that shares identity with them or ethnicity with them. I mean, Spike Lee could make. I mean, so far he has made few movies with white protagonists. I mean, if he wants to make a movie about white protagonist, movie with white protagonists, that's fine.
Yeah.
And that doesn't diminish any experience. I mean, I think movies with a white protagonist that is directed by a person of color film director, and it still remains to be strong, solid, and even great. And one of my passion project is film adaptation of Hunchback of Notre Dame.
Ooh,
and that has a white, mostly white cast.
It's taking place in France, right, or somewhere around there.
So, I wonder what would the animation equivalent to Jane Schoenbrun movies Like, is this? I realized, like, okay, it's gonna have some very vintage elements, like much like Tux and Fanny, but also like some CRT overlays, and it feels like something out of a like an internet shit, like Flash animations. Funny because I recently rewatched some of the Flash animation that I grew up watching. Like in Korean internet, we make it look like there was a boom in like Flash animations, much like much like a whole like the Anglosphere internet with the whole Newgrounds and all kinds of stuff.
Salad fingers. Yeah. For me, I think it seems almost animated. Just the way the colors. It's so saturated and beautiful. And most of these films are. So I was just thinking, you have to kind of throw the plot towards an. So have you seen Angel Hair?
Angel Hair. Hold on. I
It's
think I heard about it.
Internet, analog horror kind of thing.
Oh, that Angel Hair. Yeah. I think I've seen one, but I watched like a video that discusses it. It's like the best like it's that one where like a character from like a Christian animated media suddenly get corrupted, and there's some things like that.
Right, and it's got a lot of the same kind of elements as the Pink Opaque, with the remembering the show completely different than it was. So I'm saying right now that the animated equivalent of these movies is Angel Hair.
Yeah.
Because that's you have to go with the media that it is. The thing I was thinking, you could like maybe throw this to like a Tamagotchi, a haunted Tamagotchi that kind of evolves into the soul, and then your animation is all the Tamagotchi stuff. Where at the end it sort of does the Hellraiser box thing and throws needles into the character's eyes because they actually took care of the pet right.
So it's like a analog horror pseudo documentary involving haunted Tamagotchi.
Yes, that's my version of this film. This is the animated version for me.
What was that cube, like puzzle cube from Hellraiser? Lament Configuration. It's Lament Configuration, but it's a Tamagotchi and it still has that pixel art.
Right.
But however, it gets corrupted as you more play around with it.
Yeah, and it seems more real. You can get your animation on in that way, and then you get your 3D animation on the outside when it starts materializing things into the real world.
It
can be a metaphor for holding your identity in your pocket.
Yeah, and not only that, it could intercut with the whole like a digital recording of Flash animation, like.
Oh yeah,
from the like a mid 2000s.
I mean, that's even a better direction to go in, honestly.
And then there's like a, how should I put it? PlayStation 2 quality CG animation.
Oh yes, definitely.
Yeah, like the whole like the direct-to-video like Barbie animated movie, like CG Barbie animated. You're aware about those, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, and Reboot. The CG animation on the quality of Reboot.
Or LSD Dream Simulator.
Right. That's an interesting connection with the Tux and Fanny right there.
Yeah, I almost feel like going and making some Flash animations now.
Yeah, even though Flash animation is dead, but we still could make something that is closer to that with vector art.
Yeah, I mean, I'll just throw the images in the Godot and program it up a little bit. be practically the same thing. And I used to program video players in Flash. So
yeah, it's very much make your home movies or home or like an indie movie with camcorder, like a very cheap camcorder. That was the very much the animation equivalent to that. So yes, speaking of which, we will talk about that something like that with the Halloween episode where we're going to talk about the Blair Witch Project, and our guest is similarly like a genderqueer person, and they or he, she, this person accepts all pronouns. So they also makes like an analog horror, in animation form. And what I really love about that person, this person's work, is that they managed to capture the texture of the 70s, like a TV documentary, like shot on 16 millimeter.
Ah, sweet.
Yeah, but it's also based on a Five Nights at Freddy, video game, which, but originally I wanted to talk about the Blumhouse Five Nights at Freddy movies, but then because of Scott Coffer's his like putting monies on like a queerphobic lobbying, I was like, yeah, let's not talk about those. It's just a bit of a, you know what I mean. It's a
yeah. It's an Ender's Game kind of situation, right?
Yeah, but we could still talk about this further on this October, but we still have a lot of time slides. Should we talk about like a couple of like the upcoming like Jane Schoenbrun's stuff? For example, like their latest movie, Teenage Sex and Death at Camp Masima, which will come out in June. It got a lot of praise at the Cannes Film Festival. I'm very curious of what it's gonna look like.
Is there a trailer?
Yes, there is a trailer.
From the first film.
Okay.
Gotta be here when little Death comes back. Little Death isn't real.
Well, not with that attitude, he isn't. If you've seen his movies, you know he always comes back.
I'm just thinking about what it's gonna feel like.
Losing your virginity?
No. Dying.
Where is it that you kids think you're going?
Whoa. Ooh, that was beautiful.
Yes.
I love it. Oh, that gushing head. Oh. Mwah.
So yeah.
Oh, yeah, and it's revolving around 90s VHS, Nintendo. Oh, this is just a nostalgia diabetic coma ready to happen, isn't it?
Yeah. I want to see more movies like this. Like it does involve it involves nostalgia, but in a more like a very, more like a pessimistic way. Like, you sort of have this emotional connection with it, but then you start have this suspicion, like why you have this kind of emotional connection, but it doesn't uplift you. It does more like think deep, introspective. It suddenly becomes a lot more introspective. So yeah, very much. I'm very much looking forward to it. I'm kind of surprised that someone like Gillian Anderson would be attached to it. I mean, it's probably a bit like the explanation is that Jane Schoenbrun grew up watching The X-Files and wanted to work with the main lead, but I'm surprised that Gillian Anderson would be attached to it, considering a lot of the comments that she had made in the past. Are you aware about that? Like, shit.
I don't actively seek out criticism of myself, so.
So yeah, I mean, she had made some comments that could be considered as transphobic, but
it makes me sad. But you
yeah,
know,
but
like
however,
Graham Linehan, he's made some stuff, and I'd still watch the IT Crowd any time of the day.
Yeah.
So,
but I have a feeling that she probably changed her mind, and she tried to improve herself. But who knows? I mean, if she wants to, I mean, if she agreed to work with someone like Jane Schoenbrun, there's a good chance that she tried to improve as a person.
yeah, no, I mean, lots of people. We have to give people opportunity to change. Otherwise, the only solution is war and death.
Yeah.
That's not what I believe in. I believe people can change for the better. You know, like she was just off the rails with her like free speech warrior kind of stuff. You know, like making fun of Asian people in a certain way, or doing
I heard about that
in the Sarah Silverman program. But she has taken accountability for those actions. She has apologized for those actions. She has stated over and over her case, right, for what she believes now. And one of my favorite artists, you know.
Yeah, it was her like edgelord phase, as I like to call it, and we all went through this weird edgelord phase, like. We were trying very hard to be like politically incorrect.
You know, I have foot and mouth disease. I'll just say things, not realizing what I'm saying.
Yeah, like we have said something very, very misanthropic at one in our life.
Oh, misanthropic for sure. Right?
Oh yeah, that's some sort of like our own like edgelord phase.
Oh yeah, edgelord phase. It's when people say that stuff. It's lazy, right? It's not very funny. Because if you look in the past, you'll see people making these things up, and you hear the audience laughing in the background, like the Breakfast at Tiffany's, the Asian thing. Why was that funny? Why were people laughing at that? There's nothing even remotely comedic about it. And I think the laughter came from the breaking of the barrier. And once that barrier is broken, it's kind of like meaningless. It loses all its power.
Yeah, okay.
I don't know. I'm losing.
Yeah, speaking of like an older media, have you read the graphic novel Black Hole? Charles Burns' graphic novel.
Which one?
Black Hole, the Charles Burns comic book about teens getting STD and that ended up mutating them. So yeah, Jane Schoenbrun's making a streaming TV show about that. And as a fan of Black Hole, the graphic novel, I really looking forward to it. And it's pretty much what I would expect from Jane Schoenbrun themselves. But at the same time, I do have some couple of reservations. Like I think that Black Hole should always be black and white, and looking more something out of like a 1950s monster movie.
Okay.
But doing it in color would probably defeat the purpose, but who knows? Maybe I could be wrong. It could probably done well in colors, but I
think if anything, we know this director knows how to use color for sure. If they know anything.
Yep. And I could see why they would probably make this kind of movie. It's one of those like a nostalgia cynicism movie or nostalgia pessimism media. Like Charles Burns, the graphic novelist Charles Burns, he really, really likes 1950s or 1970s, like a comic book or genre media. But at the same time, he has this very deep, deep pessimistic feelings over it. Like you see, that's what I talked about in depth with his segment in The Fears of the Dark, like last year. It always has this deep attachment to this 1950s comic book that he grew up reading, and using that old vintage style to explore our deep anxiety of ourselves, and then this very repressive nature of the society at large. And I also wanted to take that, my nostalgic feelings toward those direct-to-video Disney movies to explore what exactly, this very, to explore the very youth anxiety.
Because they put it in the vault and you couldn't get it. You could only get a certain amount of time.
No, but more like a very, very this fractured feeling about it. I mean, yeah, it's like I don't know. You have seen my segment in Contavision 2, and I'm not sure if people have noticed it, but I sort of use a lot of tropes from like a direct-to-video Disney sequel, prequels, midquels, and I sort of corrupted them, subtly poking fun at these tropes.
It was good.
Yeah, and that's those direct-to-video Disney sequels are my Pinko Peg.
Pinko Peg? Oh, Pinko Peg. Sorry. What is my Pinko Peg? It's a cartoon called The Letter People. It makes me think that's where Wonder Chosen got their idea for their puppets.
Yep. With the age of this whole nostalgia baiting, trying to make a movie too rely on nostalgia, and this is sometimes my problem with some animated pilots and shows, that they really want to recapture the nostalgic feelings that the creators, with the shows that they watch as a kid, and have this so deep artistic admiration, but at the same time they kind of can be very limiting.
Oh yeah.
And that's what I kind of personally felt about Knights of Guinevere. Is like I get that Dana Terrence wants to respect the animators and art department people at Disney and wanted to give a tribute to them, but I sometimes I feel like people should let go of the whole nostalgia thing, and that's also my personal problem with some animator wants to make their own equivalent to Studio Ghibli movies. They want to make their own, Kiki's Delivery Service. They want to make their own, I don't know, Howl's Moving Castle. But, with this whole, the glass maker, the glass workers, that Pakistani animated movie.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. I get that they wanted to tribute to the Studio Ghibli movie, but at the same time, I'm afraid that this is also the similar kind of mentality that Sam Altman, with his OpenAI Studio Ghibli filter. I rather make a movie that is at least try to, where the creators kind of feel pessimistic about the idea of nostalgia itself, much like I thought the TV Glow did.
Yes, I agree. There's sort of this idea of making your own Studio Ghibli film is to me the equivalent of like, oh, I want to cover this song from another artist as a musician. This is a thing that I just don't ever do. I don't like playing other people's music because I feel like I want to contribute my own thing.
Yeah, and that was also what Charles Burns did with his, artworks and comic book. And I also remember as one thing that Luca Guadagnino said about his own Suspiria remake is that he only wants to capture the feeling that he had when he watched the Dario Argento movie for the first time. And because of that, instead of replicating the colorful visuals from Dario Argento movie, he just think up something new for him, out of his own. Instead he just made a very straightforward period piece drama, but with very gores and violence, as you've seen in the Argento movies and witchcraft.
And I would say they were very successful. It's a toss-up for me which one I would rather watch,
Yep. Do something more like that instead of just go straight for the nostalgia. Just say something new about it.
Say something new, show something new. I mean...
And you could see how Jane Schoenbrun and Charles Burns took a more pessimistic turn. Well, not too pessimistic, but more at least trying to be more suspicious about why they have this kind of nostalgia, if you know what I mean.
Oh yeah. It's so, the Mandela effect of this was good when it wasn't.
So yeah, that's just my conclusion. Like, make your animated movie or show short queer as possible. Break all kinds of norm.
And I will give
be like Jane Schoenbrun. Be like Madzy.
I would say don't be like me. Be yourself. But
yeah, or be like Madzy, who believes in you.
Yes.
That's what Kamina from Gurren Lagann would say. Believe in me, who believes in you.
Don't believe in yourself. Huh? Believe in me. Believe in the Kamina who believes in you.
I believe it. We need to hire more queer people. Well, that's what I think.
That's definitely. And support, financially support your local queer film directors.
And give to the Patreons so that,
if you don't want to, if you want to see less Emilia Perez, financially support your local film, queer film directors.
Yeah. And, it's been great talking with you today, Jay.
Yeah, definitely great talk. I wanted to thank you for making some time to come on to this, be co-hosting this episode with me.
Yeah, anytime.
Anyway.
I will co-host this episode anytime.
Yep. Anyway, have a great weekend, Madzy. All right.
I gotta go.
Bye. Yep. Bye. All right. Anyway, bye.
You just listened to Reanimate This Podcast. We're All Going to the World's Fair is currently distributed by Utopia. It's available on video on demand through HBO Max and the Criterion Channel. Keep your eyes open for the Lunch Meats limited VHS copies of We're All Going to the World's Fair on auction sites such as eBay. I Saw the TV Glow is currently distributed by A24. It's available on video on demand through HBO Max and others. As of today, it's available on Tubi for free with ads. DVDs and Blu-rays are also available everywhere, including A24's website. And watch your eyes for the limited edition VHS copy of I Saw the TV Glow on auction websites like eBay too. The opening theme music is Wanderlust by Celeste. The ad break music is Early Riser by Kevin MacLeod. And the ending theme music is Arizona Green Tea by Stuffy Doll. Please support their works on Bandcamp. The links are in the description.